You're listening to
Catholic Sprouts,
the daily podcast for Catholic kids that strives to plant seeds of faith.
Hey there, Sprouts. Today is Tuesday, January 15th, 2018. This week on the Catholic Sprouts podcast, we are talking about the theological virtue of faith. Yesterday, we talked about how there is a distinction in the ways that we can use the word faith. We can talk about the faith of the Catholic Church, which are all the principles that we believe as Catholics. But we can also talk about faith as in a deep trust and remaining faithful to God. And that, although it includes all of our beliefs as Catholics, is more so what we talk about when we talk about the virtue of faith. Today, I want to talk to you about another word, and that word is belief. Oftentimes, when we struggle to define what it actually means to have faith, we use the word belief, meaning, I believe in God. I believe in the things that the Catholic Church teaches. I believe that that is the true presence of Jesus Christ in the Eucharist. I believe that Mary is my mother and she takes care of me. Now, all of these things are good and beautiful. And if we do grow in the virtue of faith, we will say these things, we will feel these things, and we will allow these things to direct our life. The problem is the word belief in the way that it is used in our world today. Oftentimes in our world today, the word belief does not mean truth. Instead, it means opinion. It means, well, you can believe that if you would like, but I am going to believe something different. Now, here is the major problem, my friends. In order to be a true person of faith, we not only believe that these things are true for us and in our lives, but they are true. Now, when we say something is true, that means no matter who you are, no matter how you look at it, what experiences you have, this is an indisputable fact. It cannot be seen in a different way. Therefore, we not only say that these things are true for me, but they are true. That is what it means to be faithful. In our world today, we don't like to say those things because we automatically think, well, if I say that this is a universal truth for everyone, then in a way, I'm saying that other people are wrong. And we don't like to offend people. We don't like to make people feel bad. And we shouldn't like to make people feel bad. But let me tell you something, my friends. Something that you are going to have to fight for the rest of your life. There is truth in this world. And God is the biggest, most important truth possible. God truly exists. God truly loves you. And he not only loves you, he loves every human being on the face of this earth. He loves them whether they know he exists, whether they love him in return or not. God is constant and God is truth. So whether your friend or your cousin or a stranger on the other side of the world believes and agrees with you or not, that doesn't change the fact that God is truth. And not only that, but everything that we have been taught through our Catholic faith is also truth. Mary really does love you and hear you when you pray to her. The bread and wine really are truly transformed utterly into the body and blood of Jesus Christ at every sacrifice of the Mass. Those things are true. The virtue of faith allows us to be strong in this truth and bold in this truth, even when the world tells us that there isn't truth, or that we shouldn't say everybody has to believe something. And of course, everybody doesn't have to believe. God gave us the choice. He gave us free will, which allows us to believe or not believe. But just because some people don't believe doesn't mean that there isn't truth. So I know that this was kind of a big and meaty topic. The topic of truth and belief is something that you are going to be wrestling with your whole life. Your whole life. And so, Sprouts, I have a challenge for you today. And guess what? It's the same challenge as yesterday. This prayer I gave you yesterday is something I want you to cling to. In a world that tells us there is no truth, we need to fight. Fight like soldiers. Fight every day to defend what is true and to grow in belief in that truth. And so once again, Sprouts, say this prayer. Lord, I believe in you. Increase my faith.
That's it for Catholic Sprouts today. We'll be back tomorrow, but until then, continue to grow in your faith and truly sprout into the beautiful creation that God intended you to be. And finally, a quick note to the grown-ups. First of all, thank you for listening to the Catholic Sprouts podcast. I ask that you please consider sharing this podcast with another Catholic family you know. Send them an email, a text, or simply mention it the next time you see them. Please join me in the mission of helping each Catholic child truly sprout into the wonderful human that God created them to be.